The helicopter's blades sliced the night air, sending leaves swirling across the high school parking lot. Everyone at the reunion froze, half thrilled, half confused, as the sleek black aircraft settled onto the field. Moments earlier, they'd been laughing about the joke invitation they'd sent. Invite Lila Hart, the girl everyone used to pick on. The girl who wore thrift store sweaters and ate lunch alone. No one expected her to show up. And certainly no one expected this. The door opened, and Lila stepped out, calm, elegant, and glowing with a confidence none of them remembered. She wasn't dripping in diamonds or flashing designer labels. Just a simple dress, a warm smile, and eyes that held the kind of peace people spend years searching for. You could have heard a pin drop. Ethan, once the king of the popular crowd, whispered, "No way, is that her?" Beside him, Marcy, queen of whispered insults back in the day, forced a laugh. Probably rented it for attention. But even she didn't believe that. Lila walked toward them, waving gently as if greeting old friends, not old wounds. "Hi, everyone, it's been a while." People stumbled over themselves trying to look composed. Cameras swung her way, questions buzzed. No one knew what to say, so she rescued them. "I'm really glad I came," she said softly. "I wasn't sure at first." Ethan cleared his throat. "So, what do you do now?" Lila gave a humble shrug. "I run a nonprofit, emergency air transport for rural patients who can't afford it." The helicopter. She nodded toward the field. "It's usually for medical rescues. Tonight was the first time I used it for something personal." A ripple of shock moved through the crowd. Some had expected bragging, others expected bitterness. No one expected selflessness. Marcy stepped forward, her voice shaky. "Lila, we weren't very kind to you back then." Lila smiled. Not the tight smile of someone trying to look gracious, but the warm smile of someone who has truly healed. "We were all kids," she said. "Kids don't always understand the weight of their words." The room inside buzzed again, but this time differently, quieter, heavier, real. As the night went on, people drifted toward her, not out of guilt, but curiosity, admiration. She listened to their stories, asked about their families, remembered small details from years ago. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was simply present, kind in a way that made people realize how rarely they experienced that kind of genuine humanity. The emotional shift came when the reunion's old janitor, Mr. Walker, hobbled across the gym to see what the commotion was. He had worked at the school for decades, overlooked, underpaid, always smiling through his own hard times. Lila's face lit up. "Mr. Walker." The old man blinked in surprise. "You remember me. You used to sneak extra biscuits to me at lunch," she said, her voice thickening. "You told me I mattered when no one else did." He tried to wave it off, but his eyes watered. Lila reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "I heard you retired last year. I also heard the school district cut your pension by mistake. I can fix that." The room went silent again, but this time in awe. Inside the envelope was confirmation of a fund she'd set up, covering the pension gap and more. Mr. Walker stared at her as if she'd handed him the world. "Why would you do this for me?" "Because you were kind when it counted." People looked at Lila differently after that, not as the girl they once mocked, not as the woman who arrived by helicopter, but as someone who had chosen compassion over revenge, generosity over pride. As the night ended, Lila walked back toward the helicopter. Many followed her outside just to say goodbye, something none of them would have imagined doing hours earlier. The blades spun to life, and as the helicopter lifted off, she waved, a simple, graceful gesture that left the crowd standing in a quiet circle under the night sky. And somehow, everyone felt a little lighter, a little changed, a little more human than when the night began.